So one of the best ways to either rebuild your recurring donor program or to start a new one altogether is to start with a campaign that has a deadline and gives the donors the ability to understand what their impact will have for your organization. And so here in Fundraise, I want to walk through a couple different tools we have to help you build and retain an effective recurring donor program. So I'm going to start with our campaign sites feature. Within our campaign sites feature, you can build and launch a campaign site that will go online immediately with a progress bar, donor feeds, and everything that's important to get donors excited about getting involved in your campaign. So we start with the name of the campaign, the URL of the campaign. What's our goal? We want to see $10,000 of increased recurring revenue every month. And so we're going to set our goal. Once we save it, it will publish. And here's the campaign site we built. All this was built inside the Fundraise platform. Without a single line of code, and you're just turning buttons on and off. Same with the progress bar and the donor feed. And as you can see so far, we have 4 donors that have signed up to give a total of $385 a month. And for every $5 given on a monthly basis, we can plant 1 tree. And so we're also showcasing the impact here as well. So if we go back inside the platform, I want to talk a little bit about our reporting features. So we're going to start here under the donation section. From donations, you can see a total list of all donations, whether it's coming through the recurring campaign or not. You can apply filters here. You can compound the filters so that you can get as segmented as you need to. And then once you've created that list, you can save it as a saved donation list, and it becomes dynamic. So anytime a donation comes in that meets the criteria of your saved filter, it will be added to the list. And so here you can see that I've created 4 donation lists. The first is failed recurring donors, monthly recurring revenue. So far, the first few days of May, what's our total count? We have 7 donations that equals $410. What's our new recurring donors? So all new recurring donor revenue this month. We want to see what's been added that's new. And then lastly, churned recurring donors, individuals that have fallen off for many different reasons. From a saved donation list, you can actually create what we call a task automation. And task automations are great for reminding yourself or someone on your team to follow up with a donor when a certain activity happens. And so under task automations, I've created 2 different reports, a failed recurring donation. So anytime a failed recurring donation comes into the platform, I want to know about it so I can follow up with them. And then anytime a new person signs up to give monthly, I also want to know about that so I can thank the individual. And so once you've used the logic from the saved donation list, you can create your task automation. I'm going to assign this task to Justin. I want Justin to call all donors whose credit cards donations fail and remind Justin what his task is. Once a failed donation comes in, it would show up under my tasks. And this is also the same for this other task automation I built for new recurring donors. I can see I have 4 open tasks. And so if I click on my tasks, I can see I've got 4 tasks to complete. I am responsible for thanking these donors for joining our program. And when I click on the task, it will actually save the task under the donor profile, the supporter profile, as an interaction so that I can track that. And any open tasks I have under the supporter profile, it would show that. And so let's click into the supporter profile here real quick. This is the pop-up. I want to view the full profile. And there's 4 different sections on the supporter profile. The donation history. So as you can see, is I've got a 45 recurring donation. I've got $25 that has failed. And then also my donation settings. And so this is my card information and also the amount, the frequency, and the next recurrence date. Also, you have demographics. And so when someone gives, we work hard to find more data on the donor so that you have more insight on how you should treat this particular recurring donor. From this section, you can also view all interactions and open tasks. And so you can see we've already completed this interaction, and we've got this open task to thank the donor for the new subscription. As you'll see in a second from our email section, any email that I receive and open or maybe bounces, you can actually see that under the email analytics section. And so we'll go over to that section here shortly to review some of those tools. The next thing you can view in this platform is a list of all of your recurring donors. And so under the supporter section, this is a list where all of your supporters would live, whether or not they're recurring or have donated before. You can build saved supporter lists like you can on donations. And so if I go to our saved supporter list, I have a active recurring donor list. And so we've got a total of 4 recurring donors that are giving $385 a month. And so if we were to multiply that by 12, we would see that's over $4,000 of recurring revenue that we can count on this year. So very easy to report and to find the data that you're looking for. Also, we have a tool under this section called My Portfolio. So if you are managing recurring donors, you can auto assign all recurring donors to yourself. You could then manage those donors from this section. Under trends, you can see all sorts of information about your fundraising activity, but I want to focus just to stay relevant on recurring. So as I scroll here to the bottom, I have a list of my recurring donors that are set to expire. Visa has put out a report that states if you run any sort of subscription business, you can expect 30% of those subscriptions to fail due to card errors and so forth. And so what we're doing here is we're showing you over the next 90 days, you have X amount of donors who are set to expire, and the potential loss would be $1,700 annually. And so with that bad news, we give you a couple very proactive tools to mitigate this lapse donation. The first one is an auto update tool. Every 2 weeks, we're reaching out to the credit card companies, Amex, Visa, MasterCard, and so forth, asking if there's any new data for that credit card. So if an individual's card gets stolen and they got a new card, we would be able to obtain that new credit card information for that donor so that that subscription goes uninterrupted. The second tool we have is under our automated email section. We have created a drip campaign, which is a series of emails that to send to the donor to ask them to update their credit card. And so in this particular drip campaign, expiring recurring donor drip, you could start 60 days out and send 2 days after their card expires. And if the donor responds to any one of these emails and updates their card, they would not receive any subsequent emails. And so if you click in to see the actual email editor, you can see it's a very beautiful email that you can design just by uploading an image and writing some content, asking the donor to update their card by clicking this button. And in doing so, their subscription would be updated and you would have prevented that donor from lapsing in their monthly giving. And again, just to show you just the ease of building this email, you're uploading a header image, you're writing some content, and you're applying what's called a merge tag to personalize the email to the end user. And once you've saved the email and you have it toggled on, these emails will just automatically send based off of the details we know of when a credit card is going to set to expire. And so it's a very efficient way to prevent any sort of lapse donations. So that's the extent of what I wanted to share today as it relates to recurring giving. The Funders platform is much more robust and can actually do a lot more in terms of fundraising and donor management and cultivation. So if you're interested in seeing a full demo, we would love to share more of what Fundraise can do to help you in your fundraising efforts this year.